Good morning. Snow. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Meetinghouse of Provincetown, where we affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person and where we support each other on our spiritual search for truth and meaning. Welcome to those of you here in this room, and welcome also to those of you joining us from home via YouTube. This morning, we give a very special shout out to our dear friend Cricket, who turns 100 today. Happy birthday, Cricket! My name is Bruce de St. Croix, and I am your worship host today. I serve on the worship committee, the pastoral care team, and the safety committee. Our guest speaker today is Kathleen Henry, who serves on our worship committee, on the board of directors, and as editor of our fabulous UUMH newsletter. Kathleen has many talents, and most importantly for this morning, is willing to jump in at the last minute when one of our scheduled guest speakers has to back out. We are so grateful to you, Kathleen. Before we begin our worship service, I have just a few announcements to share. Please be sure to mark your calendars for Sunday, March 12th at 5 p.m. for a musical fundraiser for Syria and Turkey. As you know, the devastation after the recent earthquake has reached an incomprehensible scale. John Thomas is arranging a benefit concert featuring music from that region, and all proceeds will go to Doctors Without Borders, who are already on the ground in Syria and Turkey, doing amazing work and saving lives. We hope you can join us. That event will also be live streamed. Rev Kate is on vacation this week, finally. And our office administrator, Kenneth, is out recuperating from his ankle surgery. So please call ahead before coming into the Meetinghouse this week. We have volunteer staffing the office Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 11 to 12. Thank you so much to all our office volunteers. As part of our Winter Spirituality series, our Soul Collage workshops start up on Monday afternoons beginning March 6th. Come, get creative with magazine images, scissors, and glue, and explore your inner landscape while getting to know others in the group. Look for more information on our website and in your email inboxes. And finally, those of you attending in person today, we hope you'll join us downstairs after service for coffee and conversation. Let's take a moment now to affirm our Meetinghouse covenant. I will say a line, and then you say it back to me. Love is the spirit of this Meetinghouse. This is our great covenant. To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now, as we light our chalice here in the sanctuary, I invite those of you joining us from home to light a candle wherever you are. In this way, we can feel connected even while we are apart. I invite Moses to light our sanctuary chalice for us. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other. I invite you now to join me in singing our opening hymn, number 346, Come Sing a Song with Me. That's hymn number 346 in the gray hymnal. Come sing a song with me. Please rise as you are able. Sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, and I will know your mind. And I will know when hope is hard to find. And I bring a song of love as snows in winter time. Come walk in time with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, so I will know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring you the songs of love and rose in winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in winter time.
Please join us now in a time of meditation and prayer. During the prayer or at any time during this service, you are welcome to light a silent candle at the table to the right of the pulpit, where there is a journal to record your thoughts and prayers. After the prayer, we'll sing together Spirit of Life, hymn number 123. You can also find the words to this song printed on the purple laminated cards in your pews. Our prayer this morning is by Reverend Carol Sissel, who is the chair of the Commission on Appraisal, which we'll be talking more about this morning. Come in, come home, bring all that you are to this wonderful place. Blessings and burdens, joys and sorrows, laughter and tears. Come in, come home. Rest a while in this sweet place of covenant, comfort, and care. Lay each burden and sorrow upon our pillows of strength and support. Place your tears in our glass chalice, worn smooth by love and the passage of time. Come in, come home. Settle into this house painted with wonder, tinted with awe, and bound by covenant. Breathe in the joy of community and relationship. Delight in the laughter of children. Let your spirit be refreshed and renewed. This is your sanctuary, your haven, your home. Come in and know this: we have been waiting for you.
Our reading this morning is by Dana E. Worsnop. We need not think alike to love alike, wrote 16th century Unitarian Francis David. Speaking of our faith, people often say that we have found a community of like-minded people. I know what they're getting at, and I know that they aren't getting it quite right. I don't want to be with a crowd who thinks just like me. I want to be in a community where I don't have to think like everyone else to be eligible for salvation. I want to be with people who value compassion, justice, love, and truth, though they have different opinions about all sorts of things. I want to be with people of good heart, people who have many names and no name at all for God, who see me in my goodness and dignity, and also see my failings and foibles, and who still love me. I want to be with people who feel their interconnection with all existence and let it guide their footfalls upon the earth. People who see life as a paradox and don't rush to resolve it, who are willing to balance upon the tightrope that is life, who will help steady me when I wobble, who give of themselves, who share their hearts, their minds, and gifts. I want to be with people who let church call them into a different way of being in the world. People who support, encourage, and even challenge each other to more ethical living, and who are willing to be uncomfortable trying to get there. Who inspire one another to follow the call of the Spirit, who covenant to be honest, engaged, and kind, who strive to keep their promises and hold me to the promises I make. I want to be with people who know that human community is usually warm and generous, often challenging, and almost always a grand adventure. In short, I want to be with people like you. Now is the time when we take a collection for the ongoing support of this Meetinghouse and our shared ministry. As we enjoy a musical reflection by the choir, we welcome your donations here in the sanctuary or online through PayPal or Venmo. You can find that information on our website, uumh.org. I invite 4 volunteer ushers to help with the collection this morning. On-site and off-site, your offerings will now be gratefully received.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole.
Thank you. I have a confession. The theme for today, covenant, is something that I am passionate about. In fact, I could probably talk for 10 hours on this topic, so settle back and get comfortable. Only kidding. This morning, I'll fill you in on my journey with covenant and what it means to Unitarian Universalism, a little bit of history and definition too, but mostly we'll take a plunge into our own experience of covenant here at the UUMH. 2 years ago, after 4 years of work, a commission on which I served for the National Unitarian Universalist Association published this book, Unlocking the Power of Covenant. The commission, called the Commission on Appraisal, has a rich UU history. It was founded as a watchdog group in 1934, quote, charged to identify, research, and address issues important to the future of our denomination. The commission was deliberately set up to be independent, totally independent. The choice of topic even on which to spend 4 years of research, contemplation, writing, is the commission's alone. And that's a huge responsibility. What is the issue, or at the very least, an important issue facing UUs that will have a great impact on our future? After much prayer and discussion, we chose covenant out of all the possibilities. You might say, huh? What's so important about covenant, or so challenging, that a group of serious, let me also say studious, people would spend such a lot of time and energy and resources on it? The kernel of the reason for our choice of covenant was grounded in our looking at, and this seems comical when I say it out loud, this question: why isn't everyone a Unitarian Universalist? We looked around the circle at each other, a diverse group in every way, a military chaplain who was also a minister of a UU congregation in the Southwest, a former college professor, a then current divinity school professor, a retired businessman, a young minister, 2 PhD candidates, both of whom were ministers of UU congregations, a minister from the online congregation of UUism called the Church of the Larger Fellowship, and me, a writer. We looked around at each other and shook our heads and said, why isn't everyone a Unitarian Universalist? Why is it in large parts of the country most people have never even heard of Unitarian Universalism? We were well aware that the future very well could hold that UUism would die out because our numbers are, quite frankly, very small. In the United States, there are estimated to only be 170,000 members across 1,000 congregations. We are not great at spreading the word about ourselves. And partly that is because we cannot say what it is we believe, at least not in the way people are used to hearing others talk about their beliefs. Christians believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and that he preached a gospel of love. There are many nuances to that single sentence, and many wars have been fought in attempts to clarify what different Christian denominations mean when they say what they believe. But basically, that single sentence sums up neatly a cornerstone of Christian belief: Son of God, gospel of love. People assume they know what UUs believe. When I first came to Provincetown, I went to another church in town. The religion was familiar to me, not quite the same as my religion of origin, but very similar. But from the first service I attended here at the UUMH, I knew this was my place. This was my church. This was my religion. Someone from that first congregation I had attended asked me why I had jumped ship. Why had I chosen the UU? And before I had a chance to form a sentence to answer her, she nodded, and an aha look came over her face. She thought she knew definitely why I had made my choice, and I had said nothing. It took me days, I think, to realize that she had concluded I had chosen the UUMH because I am a lesbian, and this was the gay church. People will think what they will think. People make jokes about UUs. They say we don't believe in anything, or that we believe in everything, or that it doesn't matter what we each believe. And the phrase closest to the truth in that list is the last one. It doesn't matter what we each believe, in the sense that a UU congregation welcomes all, no matter your belief or non-belief. We respect and welcome all faiths and agnosticism and atheism, and that was why I chose the UUMH. Reverend David Pyle gave a beautiful sermon on covenant for UUs in which he said, quote, "We are a religion that is based not in a set of dogma or beliefs, but a religion that is based in a set of sacred promises, the promises we make to one another, and a sacred promise we make about the future, our vision of a world made whole." We can say we welcome all because we are deliberately not a religion that is based on a creed, the way most religions are. In order to be a Catholic, say, in truth, a member must believe the items listed in what's called the Nicene Creed. I believe in one God, who is the Father Almighty, the maker of heaven and earth, etc. You've heard it. You've also heard the term cafeteria Catholic, and that refers to a person who considers themselves a member of the Catholic Church, but who chooses which items to believe out of the list, chooses which rules to follow. But technically speaking, a cafeteria Catholic is not a Roman Catholic in good standing. For a UU, there is no such set of beliefs. In the 1600s, the ancestors of our religion founded the town of Dedham, Massachusetts. They met every week on a rotating basis in each other's homes as a free religion of common people who covenanted with each other. They promised, famously, this phrase, to walk together in their search for truth and to govern each other with love and peace. Like them, we choose to walk together as we search for truth. We pledge to help each other. We promise to behave in loving, peaceful ways. In short, we have a covenant with each other. That covenant, that solemn, sacred promise, is what we UUs have, not a creed, a covenant. We are a free and open religion. For instance, you could say, gee, I'm having a hard time accepting that that person next to me in the pew calls himself a pagan. A pagan. Gee, I'm having a really hard time. Were you to say that, the other people in covenant with you at this meeting house would listen to you, express their compassion for your hard time, offer advice or opinion about the whole idea, join with you in your journey for truth, perhaps not reaching the same conclusion, but supportive of your journey itself, supporting you in your search, because we have promised to do that. We have a covenant. It's a covenant we have chosen, we have written, we have voted on. Each UU congregation chooses its own covenant and renews it and changes it, perhaps, renews it. We changed our covenant slightly a few years ago. We used to have the words, "Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law." We met at our annual meeting after reflecting on the matter for a couple of months to see, did that language still hold true? Some of us objected to the notion of law and raised the point that if we were already saying we covenanted to help one another, saying service is its law was redundant. There was a lot of discussion about that. What also came up at the time was an objection to the word church. Some members had negative connotations with that word, raising the point that church conveyed a mainstream religion with the required accoutrement of creeds and rules and hierarchies, and we were not that. And some had a history with the word temple as their place of worship, or mosque as their place of worship. Church did not fit. We were a meeting house and had been since the mid-1800s. And so it was that we voted to change the wording of our covenant to "Love is the spirit of this meeting house." And we eliminated the phrase law entirely. There's a UU church in Harvard, Massachusetts, and a member there, Greg Stoddard, writes, "Love is important to me, and it is the spirit of this place. Service is our prayer, and it's the only prayer I'm comfortable saying. I choose to dwell together in peace with the people in this room because I love the way they seek the truth in their way while giving me the freedom to seek the truth in mine. And this is a place where we help one another, not because a book or a minister told us to, but because we have promised each other that we will. The UU church down the road in Brewster might not have the same covenant as we have. In the book we wrote, we list in the back some of the covenants from congregations across the country. Many have similarities, but there are differences. Some are so long, actually, that the congregations don't say them every Sunday the way we say ours every Sunday. It's an interesting review to see how similar and yet how different the covenants are in UU congregations around the country. I know of a couple that holds hands and says the covenant to each other every day, changing the words Meetinghouse to marriage. Love is the spirit of this marriage. They say doing this has renewed their decades-long relationship, grounded it, refreshing them with joy and strength each and every day. There is nothing more courageous than making a promise like that to each other, nothing deeper. Whether as a congregation or as a couple, that we make the promise, renew it, struggle to repair our breaches of it, then make it again, is powerful. It is the power that builds beloved community. My point is that our covenant is a powerhouse. If we could remember that we know that, if we could allow ourselves to experience that, and if we could share with the world that this is real for us, we would unlock the power of covenant, and that would strengthen us for the work, the journey, the service, and maybe we could grow the numbers up from 170,000. We have words and we have ritual. The repetition of specific words is itself a ritual. I pledge allegiance to the flag. When those words are those with which we ourselves continually and consciously affirm, if we are affirming those words as we are saying them, then that's ritual, and it's powerful. Uniting the words with a physical ritual is so powerful, it can even be life-changing. I pledge allegiance to the flag. It can be community-changing. Let's go so far as to say it could be world-changing. Every single Sunday, we repeat our covenant to each other. If we do so with deep reflection, with awareness of its sanctity and power, if we open ourselves to the possibility of its strength, the depth of its meaning, the scope of its embrace, we will unlock its power. So, let's close our eyes, you at home too. Breathe in these words as I say them, slowly, aloud, and you can whisper them line by line after I do so. Love is the spirit of this meeting house. This is our great covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now open your eyes, please, and we'll add a layer to deepen our experience of these words. Gestures to demonstrate the sentiment we feel for the words we are saying, like the Pledge of Allegiance, or like how we stand for the national anthem, or how Catholics make the sign of the cross. I'm not suggesting we adopt ritualized gestures to be used every time we say our covenant, not at all. But let's just do it today to help us deepen and sharpen our experience of our covenant this morning. The first gesture is taken from American Sign Language, and it is simply the sign for love. And it is this: love. The second gesture is one we started to use during our Zooming for the pandemic. On the Tuesday coffee hour Zoom, we still use it. Everyone on the screen holds up both hands like this when we say the covenant out loud. And it's a way of linking hands across the miles. So even though we can't touch each other pandemic-wise, you can have a sense that we are holding hands right now, okay? And the next gesture, adding that this is also a symbol of promise, isn't it? I promise, or when we stand in the jury box or the witness box, we take a vow, we hold our hands up. So there's something of that in it too. For the words dwell together in peace, we gently clasp our hands, very gently. Seek the truth in love, we just reach forward. And when we help one another, our palms turn up and lift slightly. All right? So let's try it. Love is the spirit of this meeting house. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. We are not a people with a creed, we are a people with a promise. We promise to walk together, supporting each other as we each learn and grow and fail and apologize and evolve. In the spirit of love, we promise to be peacemakers, searchers, and helpers. Amen, and blessed be.
It has become a practice to pose a question based on the theme of the service each week. It can be a topic of sharing downstairs today or with friends during the week. If you want to delve deeper into this conversation, we hope you can join us Tuesday at 5 at our Zoom coffee hour. Our question this week is there a time when you felt the power of our covenant in operation? Loving, peacemaking, truth-seeking, helping. Is there a time when you felt the power of our covenant in operation? Loving, peacemaking, truth-seeking, helping.
We are each on journeys that may take us to different beliefs about God and about life, but we are in search together, peacefully, supportively, lovingly. Let us go out into the world and let the world come to know who Unitarian Universalists are by how we live our lives. Go in peace. Amen.